Hey, how's it going? My name is Reece. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to know when you need to hire a media buyer. I'm in different settings today. I'm currently in Estonia, out in the garden. I want to go ahead and shoot this video for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, for the first couple of years running my agency, I did not have a media buyer. In fact, from 2017 to 2020, not only did I not have a media buyer, but also didn't sign any clients. The main reason, the main thing that was holding me back on an internal, more of a mindset, psychological level, was the fact that I did not believe that I could actually provide the results that I was promising the client. However, in the year of 2020, most of you know my story if you've been on the channel for a while. In 2020, I actually restarted my agency. I decided to go for ecom, and I got a media buyer soon after I started. So I started doing the work by myself. I had a mentor, and the deal that I had with this mentor is if for some reason I would be, if I didn't get the results for the clients that I wanted to get them, the deal was that they would actually take it over, they would white label it, and I would get some money there. Now, the reason I came up with this deal was because I wanted a way to kind of guarantee that I could be able to provide them results and I have some security myself when I was actually speaking to people on the sales calls and doing the outreach. I wanted to have that conviction that I knew that whatever happened, I would be able to help them get results. Whether that would be me, myself, actually getting the results for them. And by the way, I did have a lot of theory knowledge at the time. I didn't have so much practical knowledge, but I did have a lot of theory. And then on the second side, like the backup plan, I knew that if I couldn't provide them the result, I knew that somebody that was had an agency for a few years, I knew that I could white label it to them if I absolutely needed to. What I'm getting at here is all I had to do from the very beginning was hire a media buyer. And that little doubt that I had in my mind of not being able to get the results would have just instantly gone away. So when I got my first couple of clients and I actually got the results for them, it actually worked out. For the first couple of months, it was working really well. But the issue is that I kind of trapped myself in the position of having to work on their ad accounts. I would wake up in the morning, I would do the reporting, then I would be writing new ads, I'd be optimizing the ad accounts, I'd be fixing technical issues, answering the messages I was getting on Slack. I had all of this going on and I didn't have the time to actually go and do the outreach to get new clients on board. So I'm sure you can see where we're going here. Comes the golden handcuffs analogy where you kind of buy yourself a new job. You quit your 9 to 5 or whatever current situation you may be in, and that was my situation. I was working 9 to 5 in retail. I quit that job. I took on 2 clients, and then I was doing the work for them. So I pretty much just took on a new job. But yes, I was working for myself, but I didn't feel like I was because I wasn't able to do the things I wanted to do. I was trapped having to work on the business, in the business, not on the business. So I really, the reason I give that context is because I want you to decide right now where you want to go with the agency and what the agency is going to look like for you. Do you want to be a freelancer? If you do, there's no problem with that. And you can go ahead and you can do the work yourself, practice your TikTok ads, Facebook ads, whatever it is you're doing, email marketing, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever mechanism you use to get results, you can go ahead and become an expert at that and sell that to people and do the work yourself. And if that's what you want to do, you can do it. You can still make maybe up to $5,000 a month. You can still make some decent money doing it. Sure, you're not going to have that much time, you're going to be working a job, but if you're happy to do that and you're passionate about doing it, do it. But most of you watching this video actually want an agency, and we have to just understand what it means to be a business owner in the first place. It doesn't mean to be the one that does the work. Steve Jobs, when he was alive, or Tim Cook now, they didn't actually make this MacBook that I'm recording this on. They probably didn't do the coding. They probably didn't do, they maybe had some input with the design. It's a nice design. They probably had some input there, but they didn't code it. They didn't put the laptop together. They themselves probably didn't choose the particular webcam that would come on this. My point is, they are the overseer, just like a ship. The captain is the one that's in control, telling people which direction to move, but it's the actual people that are working that do the work itself. That's what a business is. It's not you doing the copywriting, doing the targeting, recording reports for clients. That's not your job. Your job is to do so many different things. In fact, let me go ahead and just write this out really quickly, just in case you're not familiar. in terms of what you have to do as a business owner, you have for the agency space, you need to do lead generation, lead nurture, lead conversion, fulfillment, and ascension. The fulfillment is only one part. So if you end up just doing the media buying role yourself and you're just doing the fulfillment, you're only just doing one thing that you need to actually do as a business owner, or just one segment of what the business actually needs to do in the first place to be successful. So it's actually unfair for you to do the service delivery. It's unfair on yourself. It's unfair on the clients that you're signing, because you're telling them, hey, yeah, come in, we're gonna give you the best service possible, but then your mind is split between you doing the fulfillment, you doing the sales calls, you doing the outreach, you getting the leads in the first place. Like, your focus is split in all of these different directions. So you, as an owner, what you need to do is conduct. You need to learn how to conduct, how to hire, manage, how to fire people. These are the type of skills that you need to be learning as a business owner. Skills that are going to serve you for forever, pretty much. These are the things that you need to be doing as an agency owner. If you're a freelancer, then it's different. You just have to, do the media buying side of things. But most of you watching this video, you do actually want to go down the agency route. You need to understand that your time is best spent overlooking things as much as possible. This doesn't mean that straight off the bat you need to go hire people for each of these roles. That wouldn't make sense. But the fulfillment is something that you need to hire for immediately, and the main reason for that is because you're hiring an expert. Especially the fulfillment section is the only thing here, well, it's the main thing here that's actually skill based. Lead conversion, which basically is sales, that's skill based as well, but that's something you can focus on for the time being. The fulfillment is incredibly skill based, and you want somebody that's been doing this for a lot longer than you have. In fact, in some cases, a lot longer than you've even known about this business model in the first place. If you're new to the agency space, you definitely don't want to be the one doing the fulfillment. You definitely need somebody taking over and doing that for you. Why? Well, so you can get good results. You can get a good retention rate, keep the clients on for a long time. By the way, I'm speaking from experience where we've got clients on past 12 months. We've got multiple clients. I had a client the other week that actually signed on a new extension on a 6-month contract. This only happens when you get good results. If you get good results from clients, they will want to stay around. The only way that you're going to get good results for the clients is by having somebody that can get them good results. Somebody that lives, breathes media buying, knows exactly what they're doing, passionate about it, knows how to do it well, and is happy to sit down and do the work. So how to know when you need to hire a media buyer? Well, if you want to do an agency, it's right now. You got to go ahead and get started with that right now. So let me give you a little background on kind of what you need to be doing in order to get the media buyer of your choice. The type of media buyer that would be incredible, and you can pretty much guarantee the results to your prospects. I've made a little list here. I have a much longer video that goes into this process in a lot more detail. So I'll just give you a vague list of kind of what you need right now just to get started and actually hiring an incredible media buyer. Number one, you need to know what they need to do in the first place. You need to know what it looks like to be a media buyer in the first place. And you don't need to know everything about the advertising platforms you're working with. You don't need to know everything about that. You simply need to know what kind of responsibilities does this person need to have. For example, when you onboard a client, they need to do some research, get to know their competitors, see what kind of ads the competitors are doing. They need to go through the website, see what kind of products are selling. They need to go through the comments on the current ads and see what kind of feedback they're getting from people. Have a look at their posts on Instagram. What kind of comments are people getting? Why are people buying the products in the first place? The media buyer needs to do a lot of research before they even get started in order to create the ads that are actually going to be receptive to for people to be receptive to receive the information given on the ad in the first place. You need to make sure that the media buyer is going to do the research correctly, and it's your job to know what they need to do. And you know that they need to do the research. You may not know everything about that, but you know that they need to do research in the beginning. You know that they also need to go ahead and learn how to write copy, or be able to write good advertising copy, and kind of what that looks like. You also need to know that they need to be able to use creatives. Maybe you will have a little understanding of kind of what creatives they may use at different stages of their sales funnel. The type of creatives, the type of ad copy that you use in a cold stage in the funnel is completely different that you would use in warm or hot. To people that have never purchased before versus people that have purchased many times, they're going to see different content. They're going to be receptive to different content. And it's the media buyer's skill that will come out here, and actually they will know what content needs to go. You simply need to know what they need to do, and that just means that they know that they need to pick the right creators and be able to write ad copy for different stages of the funnel, etc. You also need to know what the type of person is that you want on your team, what their personality looks like. When I was hiring, I knew I wanted somebody that I could get on with and would be somewhat extroverted, be able to speak to people, be able to have good conversations with me, good conversations with clients, but at the same time have a slightly nerdy, geekier side where they like data and they like looking at the analytic reports and seeing what works and what doesn't, and have that natural intrigue, that natural curiosity of the different things that work and how things work as a system and in life. And the reason for that is these algorithms are unpredictable, but we can always kind of push them in the direction that we want them to go. So the media buyer must be able to look at the data and say, okay, this didn't work. Let me make this tweak and we can see how that performs. So that's kind of more on the practical level of the type of person I was looking on and their actual psychology. We also want to think about as a person, what do they do? What are their hobbies? What does that person look like? The same way that we'd come up with a client avatar, we want to come up with an avatar for the type of people that you want on your team. A client avatar would be, we can get into that another point, but specifically the media buyer avatar, for me, it's not somebody that goes partying every weekend. It's not somebody who travels every couple of months. It's somebody who loves what they do, has a nice, comfortable place where they live. Maybe they're in a relationship, maybe they're not. That doesn't really matter, but they're more long-term focused, and they're focused on building something for the long term. They're here to stay in the business, not just make a little bit of money, get a bunch of different clients from other agencies. That's not really what I want. I want somebody who's going to be here long term. And if we click, if we really work and we vibe together, I want somebody who's going to come into the agency, get a full-time position and grow together. That's the type of person that I'm looking for when I'm hiring. And if you can get as specific as possible, the more specific you can get, the more that you'll be able to attract this person. The reason that this is so important is because it comes into creating the job posts. If you know what type of person you want, you'll be able to communicate this in the job post. A lot of people create job posts incorrectly. They will go ahead and their job post will say, hey, we're an e-commerce agency looking for a media buyer to come onto our team to help us scale. This is what you need to do. Do. If you're interested, comment down below and we'll reach out. It's a horrible, horrible job post. Mine are much longer, much, much more detailed. At the very beginning, and again, there's a longer process that goes into this, but what you want to communicate in this job post is everything that you want in the person. So for example, if you want somebody that's more data driven, that's the type of thing you should be speaking about in your job post. In my job post, what I really wanted was somebody that could understand this system, the ecosystem of advertising on Facebook inside and out. The types of things I was talking about was certain tools on Facebook that people might not know about, attribution tools, the Power Editor, which doesn't really exist anymore, but it's from a few years ago. And I mentioned a bunch of different things. It was so long ago since I last did this process for my own media buyer, but I followed exactly what I'm showing here. I knew the type of person that I wanted, and I mentioned all of that content in the job post. So the only person that would actually reach out to me is people that fit that description that I was looking for. This is how you are able to build the team that fits your vision. You look at the vision that you have, and then you create the job post based on the vision that you have. It's kind of like backtracking. Once you post the job post, you want people to fill out a Google's form with some questions, and you'll go through the form and you'll just shortlist them, pick the best candidates. The best candidates you'll go ahead, interview, offer an interview, and you'll get an interview with them, ask them some more questions, and then after that you'll go away, you will look at the people that you interviewed, and you will offer the job to the person that worked, that answered in the way that you were looking for. The person had as much, was the best logical fit possible, and we do want to make sure that hiring is as logical as possible with very little emotion attached. Again, this is all covered in the much longer video that goes over the process. Obviously, you offer them the job. Once you've offered the job, you need to onboard them, which basically you go through the team cultures, the things that they need to do in terms of their responsibilities, how things will work in terms of you and the business. A lot of believe it or not, a lot of agencies don't really onboard. They just say, okay, new client, here's the client, this is the information, that's it. They don't ever actually introduce them to the agency. They don't sell them on the agency vision. And what happens is the churn rate is really high. The media buyer, if they're good, the media buyer leaves after a couple of months because they have another agency who actually has a vision, actually has a purpose and a real mission. And good media buyers, good team members, in fact, they care about these type of things, and it will make them want to work harder and provide a better service to you and your clients. So in terms of onboarding, as I said, you want to go over that team culture with them. You also want to introduce them to the clients. If you have clients already, just introduce them. Be active on Slack yourself for a few days, or a few weeks, and then slowly you can kind of step back a little and let the media buyer see to the questions that your clients are answering, kind of deal with things there and do the reporting on a Loom call or a Loom video rather, or something along those lines. But I've pretty much gone over everything that I wanted to cover in this video. The last thing that I will mention is that currently we are running an offer for my one-on-one mentorship program. The way that this works is I work with new and existing agency owners who are looking to book consistent meetings to get more clients, scale to around the 15K a month mark, also automating their processes such as their fulfillment, building out that team, that magical team that's going to help you scale, and a couple other things. But the main things that we focus on in the one-on-one mentorship is client acquisition, getting the clients in, and the fulfillment side, automating the processes that you've got and really building out a true system in your agency. If you were looking for one-on-one help, I'm going to leave a link in the description as a pinned comment as well. You can go ahead, either watch the 25-minute demo video that goes over the one-on-one mentorship, what it includes, including the free guarantees that I offer. And there's also a link that you could go ahead and book in a call there, and then we could just have a chat. I can get to know a little bit more about you, your current situation, see if you and I could potentially work together to, as I said before, book more consistent meetings, get more clients in to actually scale the business whilst automating the processes for your agency. If you have any comments or questions about this video, any of the topics I've mentioned or anything else, comment that down below in the comments, or reach out to me on Facebook and Instagram. The links for that are in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube. I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you found value, and I will see you again in the next one.